Hello everybody. Once again, I'm here with Curtis Cutt with the book review of Codependent No More. Second part here. As you see, I'm wearing an old shirt. I'm living on Tulsa time. You know I've been through it when I set my clock back to it. And at least for a while, I'll keep starting with my theme song. So, I'm still reading this book. I'm about halfway through. I'm not going to get halfway through it in the time of this video. I'm going to give myself 10 minutes and see if that's a little bit better. I'm going to try to be a little more professional, smile more, trying to listen to you guys as far as your comments. I hope I'm improving as time goes along. So, one of my few criticisms of this book is I do feel that it takes her a long time to get to the actual definition of codependency. There's a lot of that all or nothing thinking in codependency. The definition, according to the book Codependency, an Emerging Issue, is that it's an emotional, psychological, and behavioral condition that develops as a result of an interdependent, prolonged exposure to and practice of a set of oppressive rules which prevent the open expression of feelings, as well as the direct discussion of personal and interpersonal problems. Now, that's a little bit roundabout and wordy. Essentially, it seems as though, for whatever reason, you voluntarily allowed yourself to be in a one-sided and oppressive relationship. Other definitions, these were lay people's definitions, but I liked them, so I'm going to share them with you. It means I know my man, which this was in the book. I hope you all know. I'm nothing against anyone, not meaning to judge, but I am, unfortunately, straight. It means I know my man I've attached to or fallen in love with or in any way gotten involved with will be chemically dependent or have some other equally serious problem. Melody Beatty's definition from the book: a codependent person is one who has let another person's behavior affect them and who is obsessed with controlling that person's behavior. And I think that that's the real key to interdependency. It's not just necessarily trying to influence your partner or the person that you're involved with. Everybody does that. Everybody tries to influence their spouse or their friend or their boss. But it's when you try to really control them, whether it's for good reasons or bad. And often it's for good reasons. But you're trying to control the other person. A great question that's asked in the book. I don't have an answer to it, but I'm going to pose it. Is this an illness? Or is it a normal reaction to abnormal people? I don't want to get too in-depth in here. Again, I'm trying to keep this down to 10 minutes, but it reminds me of how our immune systems work. Sometimes they make us sick, but it's a normal defensive reaction to what the immune system at least expects to be an attack. That's what an allergy is. That's what a lot of food intolerances are. A lot of things physically work this way. Also, this works in the spiritual and emotional realms as well. This phrase was started, or actually the studies about it, the phrase actually doesn't go this far back, but the study of the syndrome, or whatever you want to call it, starts in the 40s with Al-Anon for the spouses of alcoholics who, understandably enough, felt that they needed a support group of their own. They felt kind of shafted. The alcoholics who are destroying our lives, if they get to have a support group and we don't, that's not fair. So they started one of their own, but it really took a while to get a term. For a long time, they were called co-alcoholics. They were called victims. Now the term has more or less been established as codependent. One of the key core things about codependence, nearly universal with all of them, is nearly all of them want to help. They want to be the white knight. They want to save you. They love you. They want to save you. But often that turns out not to be for the best, really, for either party. I am minded, and I wish I had the reference, but C.S. Lewis has a beautiful story about the saintly martyred woman who's trying to save her family and save them from themselves. And after she passes, they're all kind of more or less at peace. Maybe a little grim, maybe unfair, totally unfair, probably. But the story does somehow fit with some of the things I'm reading about codependency. Another huge factor with codependence, they are reactive often. They are not proactive. They're just reacting to this alcoholic or this person with borderline personality disorder or the bad behavior of their sibling or child or their parent. They're not really taking responsibility for themselves because they are so focused on trying to control this other person who admittedly is often doing some pretty terrible things that are destructive to everyone around them. How do I personally define codependency? One of the things I love about this book is she asks you to ask questions for yourself, to do some of your own thinking. That's one of the reasons why it's taking me so long, but I'm honestly kind of trying to digest this. Even though I'm going through it just a few chapters at a time, I really want to inculcate principles from this book for my benefit. I define codependency personally as a false martyr complex, thinking that we can stand between our beloved and the dark, but instead we become the dark ourselves. Whether that's a good definition, I don't know, but it's what I've come together in my own poetic and somewhat unscientific fashion. In the end, to make it a little too personal, the way I summed it up for myself was I tried to save Mother, and she just beat me more. I tried to save Father, he just drank more. I tried to save my ex-wife, and she just kept emotionally berating me until I was an emotional basket case. Not necessarily completely her fault. I should have ended it a long time before I did. I want to spend the last minute, I've had this suggestion made that I should spend the last minute explaining to you how this benefits your life. And it may not if you're not in an unhealthy relationship, or it may have very minimal value to you. However, I would expect that nearly all of us, if we're not codependents, I think nearly all of us know someone who's like this. Nearly all of us know someone who is constantly attracted to the abusive person, constantly attracted to someone who just craps all over their life. And we ask, why do they keep doing that? Well, this book, even if you don't have this problem, will absolutely help you to understand how these people are working, how these people are thinking. These are actually, in most cases, very good people, but they are turned into terrible people sometimes by these circumstances. And notice I'm being careful not to say by the alcoholic, but by the circumstances that they allow to control them. So I hope this has been entertaining. I hope it has also been useful. Please like it if you do. Comment below. I've been told that there's some problem with the comments. I'm trying to work on that, figure out what's going on. But if you're able to, please comment. Please share it if you feel like it's worthwhile. And I will continue reading this book and letting you know what I think of it as I progress through it. Thank you very much. Sorry I went a little bit over 10 minutes, but I hope you all have wonderful weekends and have wonderful days. Thank you for listening to Courage Cut. Once again, life is a lemon. I want my money back.